I used to think spiders were simple. 8 legs, a web, catch bugs, die. The end. Then I found out they can fly, without wings, across entire oceans, using electricity. Wait, what? In 2018, researchers at the University of Bristol proved something that Charles Darwin suspected almost 200 years ago. Spiders can sense Earth's electric field. The planet has a charge, negative at the surface, positive in the upper atmosphere, and spiders feel it through tiny hairs covering their bodies. When conditions are right, they climb to an exposed point, raise their abdomens, release strands of silk, and lift off. They've been found 4 kilometers up in the sky. They've landed on ships over 1,000 miles from shore. Spiderlings have survived 25 days drifting through jet streams without food. Darwin watched hundreds of them land on his ship in calm seas in 1832. He called it inexplicable. We didn't figure it out for nearly 2 centuries. But here's the thing. That's not even close to the strangest part of this story. Because nothing about spiders is normal. Not their bodies, not their silk, not their venom, and definitely not their minds. And I'm going to prove it to you. But first, let's clear up a mistake almost everyone makes. Spiders are not insects. Calling a spider an insect is like calling a human a shark. Sure, we're both vertebrates, but that's where the similarity ends. Spiders belong to the chelicerates. Their closest relatives are scorpions, horseshoe crabs, ticks. All of them share an ancient body plan that split from insects over 500 million years ago. 500 million years. Let that sink in. According to molecular studies, arachnids likely colonized land during the Cambrian or Ordovician periods, around 450 to 500 million years ago. Picture that world. Plants had barely figured out how to grow beyond the shoreline. There were no birds, no mammals, no reptiles, no dinosaurs. The continents hadn't even finished forming, and spiders were already there, perfecting their craft while fish were still learning to crawl onto land. The earliest spider-like creatures weren't quite spiders yet. Trigonotarbids from Silurian rocks, around 420 million years old, had 8 legs and book lungs. They looked like spiders, but they were missing the most important thing: spinnerets, the silk-producing organs. A fossil called Atercopus, from around 380 million years ago, was once thought to be the oldest spider. It had silk-producing spigots, but it lacked true spinnerets. Close, but not quite there. True spiders appear around 300 million years ago, and by then, they had already developed the 2 inventions that would make them one of the most successful predator groups in Earth's history: venom and silk. These 2 innovations changed everything. They turned a small arthropod into a planet-conquering predator. And the way they work is far stranger than you'd expect. And this is where things start getting disturbing. When you imagine a spider killing prey, you probably picture fangs, venom, a quick death. That's not what happens. Spiders don't eat their prey the way we eat food. They can't. Their mouths are too small. Their digestive systems aren't built for solids. So they do something far worse. They eat from the outside in. A spider bites its prey and injects a cocktail of compounds. Some are neurotoxins that paralyze, but many are digestive enzymes, the same chemicals that would normally work inside a stomach. These enzymes break down the prey's tissues from within: muscle, fat, organs, all of it liquefied into what scientists call a nutrient soup. Then the spider drinks its meal through filtering hairs on its mouth. Picture that. Your insides dissolving while you're still technically alive, paralyzed, unable to move, being digested from the inside out. Research suggests venom evolved from digestive secretions. The enzymes came first. Neurotoxins came later. A 2024 study identified 144 different enzyme families in spider venoms. Many serve dual functions: attack and digestion, paralysis and pre-processing. The black widow's venom attacks your nervous system. The brown recluse's venom destroys your cells. Each venom is millions of years of chemical refinement for a specific type of prey. But, as disturbing as venom is, it's the second invention that truly changed everything: silk. And I need you to understand something. Spider silk is not just thread. It's a material so extraordinary that after decades of trying, we still can't replicate it. Dragline silk has tensile strength comparable to high-grade steel, but it's also elastic. Capture spiral silk can stretch to 300% of its original length without breaking. Combine strength and elasticity, and you get toughness, the ability to absorb energy before failing. And here's where things get absurd. Darwin's bark spider from Madagascar produces silk that is twice as tough as any other spider silk ever measured, 10 times tougher than Kevlar. Let me say that again. 10 times tougher than the material we use to make bulletproof vests. In 2019, researchers found a unique protein they called MASP4 that gives this silk its record-breaking properties. A single spider can produce up to 7 different types of silk. Drag line for structure, capture spiral for trapping, wrapping silk for immobilizing, attachment silk for anchoring, egg sac silk for protection. Each type has different proteins, different properties, different purposes. But wait, it gets stranger. Silk didn't start as a web-building material. Early spiders used it for egg protection, lining burrows, safety drag lines. The aerial trap came later. And when it did, spiders went insane with it. Bolas spiders abandoned webs entirely. They produce a single thread with a sticky glob at the end. They swing it like a fishing lure while releasing pheromones that mimic female moth scents. Male moths fly in and get smacked. A spider, fishing for moths, with fake perfume. Net-casting spiders weave small rectangular nets between their front legs. They hang upside down, holding this net open, waiting. When prey walks beneath, they lunge and throw the net over it. Active hunting, with silk as a weapon. The diving bell spider lives underwater. It builds a dome of silk, fills it with air bubbles, and lives inside, breathing trapped air beneath the surface. A spider, with a submarine. And then there's ballooning. Spiderlings releasing silk into the sky, riding electric fields across continents. Silk as wings, silk as parachutes, silk as an escape vehicle from an entire ecosystem. But the web itself? This is the part that completely rewired how I think about these creatures. A spider's web is not a trap. It's an extension of its nervous system. Listen to this. A spider sitting in an orb web can feel vibrations traveling through every strand. When prey hits the web, it creates a specific vibration pattern. Different from wind, different from a mate approaching, different from debris. The silk acts like a network of tuned strings. Different tensions, different thicknesses, different responses. Research shows spiders can identify prey type from vibration alone. They know if something is worth eating before they even move toward it. Some spiders use their webs to hear, detecting airborne sound waves that cause the silk to vibrate. The web isn't passive. It's a sensory organ spread across space, an information filter pulling signal from noise. And here's the efficiency that makes this even more insane. Many orb weavers destroy and rebuild their webs every single night. They eat the old silk, digest it, recycle the proteins back into their silk glands. Studies show they recover 80 to 90% of the amino acids. Some can rebuild an entire web in 30 minutes, every night. A fresh trap with maximum stickiness. The old one recycled into raw material, built, tested, demolished, rebuilt every single day. But wait, the body gets even weirder. Spiders don't have extensor muscles in most of their leg joints. Read that again. They have muscles that bend their legs inward, but not muscles that push them outward. So how do they extend their legs? Hydraulics. Their bodies contain hemolymph, a fluid like blood. When they contract muscles in their cephalothorax, pressure increases. Fluid forces into the legs. The legs extend. Measurements show pressure spikes of 60 kilopascals during rapid movements. That's over half an atmosphere, generated in a fraction of a second. This is why dead spiders curl up. When they die, hydraulic pressure drops. Flexor muscles contract unopposed. Legs fold inward. It's not rigor mortis. It's a system going offline. And those legs are covered in sensory equipment. Tiny hairs called trichobothria detect the faintest air movements. Approaching predators. Flying insects. Even the electric fields used for ballooning. Experiments show these hairs respond to air displacements caused by sound waves. Spiders feel the air around them the way we see light. Jumping spiders take this further. Their principal eyes resolve details at up to 75 centimeters. They see in color, track moving objects, calculate distances for leaps spanning many times their body length. No web, no ambush, just precision hunting powered by vision rivaling vertebrates. But it gets stranger still. The diversity of spider hunting strategies reads like science fiction. Trapdoor spiders build silk-lined burrows with hinged doors. They wait beneath, sensing vibrations through trip lines. Prey walks over the wrong spot. Door flies open. Spider lunges, faster than you can see. Crab spiders change color to match flowers. Pink spiders on pink petals. They wait for pollinators. Bees land. Spider strikes. Some take down prey larger than themselves. Ant-mimicking spiders walk like ants, hold front legs up like antennae, cluster near ant trails. Some hunt ants. Others use the disguise to avoid predators. Spitting spiders abandoned venom-injecting fangs. They spit a mixture of venom and sticky silk in a zigzag pattern, pinning prey to the surface, then approach at leisure. Each strategy, millions of years of specialization. Each spider, a different answer to the same question. How do you catch something that doesn't want to be caught? And each one of these strategies works. These aren't failed experiments. Every weird hunting method you just heard about represents a successful evolutionary path. Millions of individuals, millions of generations, all refining the same bizarre technique until it worked perfectly. But nothing I've told you so far is the strangest thing about spiders. Not even close. For that, we need to talk about Portia. Portia is a genus of jumping spider from Africa, Asia, and Australia. They eat other spiders. This sounds simple. It isn't. Hunting another predator, one with venom and silk and 8 legs of its own, requires something more than instinct. Portia plans. Researchers Robert Jackson and Fiona Cross have spent decades studying these spiders. What they found challenges everything we thought we knew about invertebrate cognition. When a Portia spider sees prey it can't reach directly, it plans a detour, a path that takes it out of sight of the target, around obstacles, into position for attack. These detours can take an hour. During that time, the spider cannot see its prey. It's navigating from memory, from a mental map it built before it started moving. In one experiment, spiders stood on a tower overlooking two boxes. One contained prey, one didn't. To reach either, they had to descend, cross a platform, and choose between two walkways. They couldn't see the prey once they left the tower. The spiders consistently chose the correct path, even when it meant walking past the wrong walkway first. When researchers switched the prey during the detour, spiders hesitated at the end. Their expectations had been violated. Something changed. They noticed. Working memory, spatial reasoning, expectation. From a brain the size of a poppy seed. Scientists debate what to call this. Intelligence? Cognition? The traditional view says animals this small can't plan, can't hold representations of the world, can't think ahead. But Portia keeps breaking those rules. Some researchers propose embodied cognition, intelligence distributed across body, senses, and environment. A spider using its web as external memory, feeling the world through hydraulic pressure and air-sensing hairs. Maybe we've been looking for the wrong kind of mind. And here's what makes this even more unsettling. Spiders aren't finished evolving. They're changing right now. In our cities, urban environments create new pressures. Artificial lights concentrate prey. Buildings offer new anchor points. Indoor spaces provide stable temperatures. Studies document orb weavers building webs near streetlights, exploiting moths drawn to the glow. Urban spiders growing larger than rural populations. Climate change is shifting ranges. Tropical species moving into temperate zones. Habitats that were too cold decades ago now viable. Some researchers speculate urban populations could eventually become distinct species, isolated by geography, adapted to artificial environments, no longer interbreeding with rural ancestors. The conditions for speciation may be forming in the alleyways around us. Spiders have survived 5 mass extinctions. They outlasted dinosaurs. They spread to every continent except Antarctica. They were hunting 300 million years before humans existed. And we barely notice them. There are probably spiders within meters of you right now, in corners, under furniture, behind walls, between pages of books you haven't opened in years, in the gap beneath your door, on your ceiling while you sleep. A parallel world of silk and venom and hydraulic legs and sensory hairs. Operating on timescales we don't perceive. Solving problems we don't recognize. The next time you see a web in morning light, consider what you're looking at. Not thread. A nervous system made visible. An engineering solution refined over 300 million years. A hunting machine that feels the difference between a fly and a fallen leaf. Between wind and the approach of something alive. We don't live around spiders. We share space with creatures that were ancient when the first mammals appeared. Creatures that fly on electric fields, liquefy prey from the inside, recycle their infrastructure every night. That plan, that remember, that watch. And somewhere right now, a Portia spider is studying another spider through eyes as sharp as our own, building a mental map, planning a route around obstacles and out of sight, into position for an attack its prey will never see coming. Spiders were solving problems before our ancestors climbed down from trees. They were building complex traps before the first humans made tools. They were hunting with chemical weapons before we discovered fire. And they're still here, still watching, still evolving, still waiting. I used to think they were simple. I was wrong. We all were.